Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Pitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Mitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Gatpate Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavidam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome everybody to this most auspicious day, which is the eve of our Gaur Punim Mahamotsav festival, as we announced tomorrow. So we're going to talk a little bit about trying to understand who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and what was it so special about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What did he bring that was so unique and special? So we know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is the avatar of this yuga. Right? He is the special avatar of this yuga. And not only did he come to give us this dharma for the yuga dharma, but he himself, he not only gave it to us, but he came and showed us how to actually practice it. Right? So this Lochan Das Thakur sung a very, very beautiful bhajan. Parama Karuna Puhidui Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra Sabha Avatara Sara Shiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda. So he says, these two lords, Nityananda and Gauranga, they're very, very merciful. He actually says Parama Karuna. Parama Karuna Puhidui Jana. Parama Karuna means very, very merciful. So Nitai Gaura Chandra. Sabha Avatara means from all of the different avatars, from all of the different avatars, they are the Sara. Sara means essence. So Lochan Das Thakur is saying that these two forms, Nitai Gauranga, they are the essence of all avatars. And not only that, they are Shiromani. Shiromani means they are the crown jewel. They're the crown jewel of all the avatars. And they came to give what? Kevala Ananda. Kevala Ananda, the way we can truly be blissful, only blissful. So this Shiromani, as we said, is very, very precious. Out of all the avatars, he is the most precious avatar. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's described that we see Panchatattva in the picture there, Panchatattva, and we have in the Panchatattva Shri Advaita. And we may know that Shri Advaita is actually none other than Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu himself. He came in the form of Shri Advaita maybe 50 years or so before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Advaita came. And when he was here, he observed that never mind convincing people, the mass of people to surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord, right, which is traditionally how we try to progress spiritually. Nobody even knows or wants to care about the Lord. Right? This is what he saw. This is the characteristics of Kali Yuga. So even though Sri Advaita himself is Mahavishnu, he stood there in a helpless condition. He couldn't do anything. He was seeing all of the people just absorbed in material ways of life, had no interest in spirituality and no interest in understanding the Lord, or no understanding in higher purpose, right? So see, Krishna, he says in Bhagavad Gita, what it says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante, tam stataiva bhajamyaham. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. He says, as they surrender unto me, I reciprocate accordingly. Krishna says this. And Mahavishnu said that, never mind reciprocating, no one's going to surrender in this Kali Yuga. No one's going to come forward and offer themselves to this. So, if the Lord wants to wait for this, he'll be standing alone, because no one's going to come automatically and surrender to him. Because no one wants to voluntarily give up this material way of life that they've been engrossed in. So in this helpless condition, what did Advaita Acharya do? He called out to the Lord. He called out to the Lord, "Oh Lord, look at these helpless people in Kali Yuga. Look at their condition. No one is interested in knowing you, O Lord. No one is. How will you ever deliver them? How will we ever deliver them? So so please come. Please come. It's time for you to come again. Please come in a special form, that people don't have to come to you, right? No one wants to come to the Lord, so you come in a form so that people don't have to come to you and surrender. They don't have to come to you in surrender, but actually you should go after them. You should go after them and chase them and force them to surrender, right? So this is the prayer of Advaita Acharya to the Supreme Lord. And this is the reason Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the form of a devotee. He came in the form of a bhakta. We refer to him as Bhakta Avatar. Bhakta Avatar, right? He came because, why? Devotees are full of compassion, right? They see the pain and suffering of the people, and they want to genuinely help them get out and permanently solve their problems. So, Advaita Acharya said, you make sure that somehow or other you can catch these people and convince them. Even if Lord Krishna himself had descended in his original form, he could not have done what Lord Chaitanya did. Can you imagine Lord Krishna chasing after people and begging them to surrender unto him, right? Not possible. Fallen conditioned souls. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he did that. He traveled all over India, giving this Krishna bhakti to countless souls, countless people. He preached the glories of the holy name. He and Lord Nityananda pleaded with everyone, please take this name of the Lord, name of Krishna, right? These conditioned souls, they were just running away, but Nityananda Prabhu would plead with them. So in this regard, there's a very interesting event with Srila Prabhupada in the early days of ISKCON. In the early days of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada was just about to board a flight, as part of his preaching tour. He was going somewhere to a new center or establish something. And I don't know if it was someone from the press or someone asked him, you're a sannyasi, you're a renunciant, Virat. What are you doing flying around in jet planes? This is not the business of a sannyasi. Sannyasis are meant to walk barefoot from one place to the other, stay under the tree, and so forth. And you're going to be opulent in a jet plane style, traveling like a stylish businessman. What is this? What is this, right? So Prabhupada answered. He answered very nicely, as Prabhupada always does. He said that the people in this Kali Yuga, they are traveling at jet speed towards hell. Right? They are traveling at jet speed towards hell. If I can't travel at jet speed, how will I ever catch them? In fact, I have to travel faster than jet speed in order to catch them. Right? This is Srila Prabhupada's mood, right? So, if I want to deliver them from material distress, I need to catch them. I have to go faster than them. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? He came in the form of his devotee, and he removed this requirement of yeyatamam prapadyante. No need to surrender. Now, the people are required to go to the Lord. The Lord will come down to them. Right? This was his technique, his special mercy, his method. He ran after all the conditioned souls, and he convinced them. He convinced them by the power of his own devotion to take to this process of bhakti. Then he would induce them to surrender to Krishna. And then once he induced them to surrender to Krishna, then he would show them his form as Krishna, with Ramananda Roy and so many other devotees he preached to. This was his technique. He would force them to surrender and then show them his real form. So he showed them. He would remove this disguise. He's also called Channa Avatar, right? The disguised avatar. And then he would give them darshan of his real self, this combination of Radha and Krishna, to make them fully surrendered. Right? This was his method. Therefore, in our pranam mantras, we say, for Krishna, we say, Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu Jagatpate. So we say Krishna is Karuna Sindhu, right? Krishna is also very merciful. Karuna Sindhu. Sindhu means ocean. So he's an ocean of mercy. We say Krishna is an ocean of mercy. But we refer to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Parama Karuna. Right? Karuna Sindhu, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's Parama Karuna, right? So we can say Parama Karuna, actually we can say Parama Karuna Sindhu. Parama Karuna Sindhu, right? He is the greatest ocean of bliss, ocean of mercy. How do we understand that? We know Sindhu means ocean, right? So, if we are sitting here and we desire to have a swim in the ocean, right? We want to go for a swim. Sometimes we do in the summer, right? So we have to go somewhere, right? We have to go to Atlantic City or, the shore somewhere or wherever the nearest ocean is. Then we can go to the ocean and we can have a swim. The ocean is not going to come here to Tawako. Let's hope not, anyway. Right? The ocean is not going to come here to allow us to swim. But this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. Right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he brought the ocean of mercy to the masses. The analogy is also given, right? The ocean is there. It's full of unlimited quantities of water, right? But what happens? Right? The sun comes, evaporates the water, forms the clouds. The clouds go everywhere and pour down rain, right? Pour down rain. So this is the comparison of what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing. He's taking that mercy from the ocean of mercy, taking it, lifting it, and pouring it indiscriminately everywhere and anywhere. He doesn't care who's there, whether this place needs his mercy or not, right? Whatever it is, he's pouring that incessant mercy. And in this way, he's transforming all places, all ways. And when we see that it's raining so heavily, then no one wants to go for a swim in the ocean, right? Because the mercy is already there, right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would take the essence from the ocean and distribute it everywhere. In the mornings we sing at Mangalarti time. What do we sing? Samsara dhava nalalita loka pranaya karunya ghana ganatvam. Right? So this spiritual master is receiving the benediction from the ocean of mercy, and just as a cloud pours water on a forest fire to extinguish the forest fire, the spiritual master delivers all of these materially afflicted people by extinguishing that blazing fire of material existence. Right? This is the mood and method of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the Pramanic Guru, the authentic Guru, this Guru is compared to Ghana Ganatvam, the deep dark clouds, with so much water, so much mercy, that even if a person doesn't want to go under the clouds will go over him and pour that mercy. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exemplifies this behavior. Therefore, even though Krishna may be Karuna Sindhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we understand, is Parama Karuna, even more merciful than the Supreme Lord. So this was one of the reasons for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come and distribute freely this topmost mercy of the Supreme Lord. Topmost mercy, without discrimination, without asking someone, are you qualified? Do you have the adhikar? No. Are you ready? No. Freely, indiscriminately giving them this mercy of Krishna Prem, the holy name. But there was also another, more confidential reason for his appearance. So Lord Krishna, he was thinking in the spiritual world. Krishna knows he is the reservoir of all pleasure. Right? We know Rupa Goswami wrote Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, right? Krishna is the reservoir of all rasas, all ecstasy, all pleasures. And Krishna was thinking that, yes, I am this reservoir of all ecstatic bliss, but I myself have never really tasted this bliss. What is it like? How can I understand what this bliss is? I'm full of that reservoir, but how can I experience it? And Tukaram Maharaj gives 3 analogies to help us understand this. The first analogy is the lotus flower, right? The lotus flower in the middle center has a very, very sweet nectar. The lotus flower cannot enjoy that nectar, right? Lotus flower is just a flower, right? Who enjoys the nectar? Bumblebees, right? Bumblebees buzzing around, they take that nectar and they become the beneficiaries, right? They become the beneficiaries. So, so in the same way, we understand this mercy of Krishna is not for him, it's for us, bumblebees, the fallen souls of, the material conditioned world, right? We can relish this nectar. Second analogy, a cow. A cow has, inside the cow is very sweet nectarian milk. But have we ever seen a cow try to drink its own milk, right? The cow cannot drink its own milk, right? The cow, who benefits from the milk? The calf, right? The calf benefits from the milk, and we are like that calf. We can try to relish that sweetness of the pure milk that's within the cow. And similarly, we try to relish the mercy that is in the Supreme Lord. And last analogy, just as in the ocean, we were talking about the ocean, right? Pearls come from the ocean, right? Pearls come from oysters, right? Oysters. Did we ever see an oyster adorning a nice pearl necklace? No. Right? Pearls come from the oyster, but the oyster gets no benefit from the pearls, right? Who gets the benefit? Right? These fallen souls with lots of money, they get the benefit of the pearls in the pearl necklace, right? So the ocean has so many gems, right? And so, Lord, you have so many gems, but you cannot relish them. It's for us, right? We, devotees, can extract these gems from you, right? And feel the bliss of adorning these gems around our neck. So when Lord Krishna reflected on this and said, yes, this is right, I too need to experience this pleasure, this bliss that's inside me, right? Krishna is saying. One other example is also given, right? This rasgulla, this very sweet rasgulla that you can squeeze and the juice drips out, right? But the rasgulla again cannot relish itself, right? Just as you squeeze it and all the juice is pouring out, the rasgulla is indifferent. It doesn't know. And we can't imagine the rasgulla with a little tongue coming out and trying to lick itself, right? No, it's not possible, right? But so who can enjoy the rasgulla? And it's also, even when we try to enjoy the rasgulla, it has to be, we cannot just put it in our hands and squeeze it and feel the bliss, It has to be by the tongue, right? And if we imagine the tongue isn't a very kind of glamorous organ or tissue. It's like, when we take photos, people say, cheese, smile. No one ever says, stick your tongue out to take the photo, right? No one ever says that, right? But to taste the rasgulla, we have to, this skin and the tissue in our fingers is not that different from the tongue, but this cannot experience the rasgulla. The tongue has to experience the rasgulla, right? So this is like the relationship between the Lord and his devotee, right? The Lord and his devotee. The Lord cannot taste and relish that sweet nectarian bliss himself. Only his devotee can really do it, right? This is why, again, the Lord descends in his form as his own devotee. And it's said that, originally Krishna was one. Krishna was one, and to really experience the mellow of bliss, he divided into two, right? He divided into two, Krishna and Radha. And we know Krishna and Radha, they are actually one, right? So, but from one, they went to two. And there's no difference between Radha and Krishna. But then we understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Krishna went 1 to 2, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did 2 to 1, right? 2 to 1, he reversed that process. So he combined Radha and Krishna and came as as Radha and Krishna combined, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, it's like, when we get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where it's like, in the sales, buy one, get one free kind of thing. We're actually getting the mercy of Srimati Radharani and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because they are combined. This is why we're saying in that Parama Karuna Bhajan by Lochan Thakur, Sabha Avatar Sara Shiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda. He is Shiromani. He comes to taste that bhav of Srimati Radharani and the love that she always has for him. Therefore, it is said, Radha Bhava Duti Sulitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. Radha and Krishna are one in their identity. Previously, they separated themselves. Now, these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he says, I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes with the bhava or emotion of Srimati Radharani and the varna or complexion of Srimati Radharani. So when Srimati Radharani heard about Krishna's plans to come as his devotee into the material world, she said, you can't go with this, your sham complexion, because when you have my bhav, you will be rolling around in the ground. Your whole sham complexion will be ruined. Let me give you my complexion. Give you my complexion. So Srimati Radharani gave Krishna her complexion. We know another name for Radharani is Gaurangi, right? Gaurangi. So Radharani gave Chaitanya Mahaprabhu this golden, molten golden complexion to come down, right? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has beautiful long limbs and beautiful golden complexions. This is why Shama Sundar Krishna transforms into Gauranga. And in this way, he experiences the bliss experienced by Srimati Radharani. But at the same time, because he's a devotee, he's always not just trying to experience it, he's trying to determine how he can distribute it. How can he distribute it freely, right? How can he distribute this love of God everywhere and anywhere? Therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also says, Anarpita charim chirat karunya avartina kalam. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came as the avatar of mercy, right? Karunya avtarinaha. And he gave that which has never been given before. What is that? He gave that which has never been given. He gave that path of bhakti. He gave that Krishna Prem, right? Krishna Prem to anyone and everyone. It said the path of bhakti is the topmost and supreme. In previous yugas, there were other methods and so forth, but this path of bhakti is the topmost and supreme. And this was the gift Chaitanya Mahaprabhu freely distributed. So one side we have Radharani's Mahabhav, and on the other side we have all of us. What do we have? Right? Radharani has Mahabhav, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had that Mahabhav. If we want to describe what we have Mahapap, right? That's what we are full of. We have Mahapap, right? Not Mahabhav, we are Mahapap, right? So we have that tendency to perform sinful activities easily induced, right? This is why Anarpita Charim Chirat. That means that which has never been given, that never has given, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to distribute for free without discrimination, right? This is why we refer to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Namo Mahavadanya, right? Namo Mahavadanya, Krishna Prema Pradayate, freely giving his Krishna Prem to everyone. There's never been an avatar of the Lord as merciful, or there will never be such a merciful avatar. Nahi deke sthana sthana jara tare kaile dan. Mahaprabhu Tata Shiromani. Right? He did not see who, from where, what is their adhikar, qualification, jhare tare, anytime, any place. Right? He did not consider anything, whoever, wherever, whenever. What did he do? Kaile Dan. Kaile Dan. He gave freely. And what did he give? The most precious Shiromani. Most precious Shiromani in the form, the crown jewel of Srimati Radharani's power, prema. So in this regard, there's another nice story about a king, right? So there was this king one time, had a big opulent kingdom, and he was feeling very generous. Says, today, special day. I'm going to invite all of my citizens to come, and I will donate to them whatever they want. I will give them whatever they want, freely, right? They can bring their container, I'll fill it with jewels, whatever they want, freely, right? I'll do this. Like this was his determination. So he said, the announcements were, and people started coming. Some people brought small containers, some people brought drums, some people brought tankers, whatever, right? Right? So they brought, and the king would fill, and all day the king kept doing this, right? And the king was feeling blissful. But then at the end of the day, the line was over. Then he saw this one person. He was morose and sad. And the king went to him and said, what's wrong? Today you could benefit from this. The king immediately realized his error. He thought he was being such a great, benevolent, generous person, but he didn't realize that he had actually restricted his generosity in this way. So he immediately announced, no problem, no patra. You can take any vessel container from my palace. I'll give you that. And you fill it and go. So the story goes on, but in the interest of time, we won't tell the rest of the story. Yes, so the king gave the poor man this big pot. He filled it, and he continued. So this is again Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In comparison, this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing. Patra apatra na dekhi tara murti. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first purified them. He didn't look to see what kind of patra or container they had, right? He purified them, and then he filled them with the Lord's mercy. Therefore, Vrindavan Das Thakur writes, he writes in his Chaitanya Bhagavat, Anandalila Mai Vigrahaya Hemabha Divya Chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Oh Sri Chaitanya Chandra, I offer you my respectful obeisance. You are the purification, or you're the personification of Krishna's blissful pastimes. And you are extraordinarily beautiful, having this dazzling golden luster. You have awarded to the people of the world the topmost mellows of ecstatic love of Krishna. You have come with the complexion of molten gold, and you are distributing freely this Mahaprem. It is said that this patra that is holding this Krishna Prem, when it comes to us, what does that patra represent? This patra or container represents our heart, right? And this nectar of prema is so potent, so powerful that patra needs to be equally strong to be able to contain it. It's like the analogy is given. The milk that comes from a lioness, it's extremely potent. If you just put it in a clay pot, the pot just dissolves, right? Pot just dissolves, the milk from a lioness. So this Krishna Prem is like that. It's very potent. If we just put it in our hearts like that, our hearts would just shatter. Our hearts cannot hold it in their current state. And in Kali Yuga, it's not that in Kali Yuga, most people, they have their hearts, their patra, but what do? They turn it upside down, right? If you just think, here we have maybe 200 people, roughly 200 people. If we look at that as a percentage of just the people in Morris County, it's less than probably 0.5% or less, right? You know, so all of these people, they have their patras upside down. Now, hopefully, some of us are seeing the benefit and we're coming, saying, yes, we want some of this nectar. These are the fortunate people, right? So we are, most people, they're quite happy. They're not interested. We're happy with our material life, our, busy schedule, this, that. Yes, maybe we'll go to temple from time to time, but we're not really interested in Krishna Prem, right? This, what will that buy us? That will just take me away from everything else, right? So, but for the rest of us, we're fortunate enough. We have decided this Krishna Prem is something valuable, something we really should strive for and acquire, right? But even us with our patra upside, right way up, and the nectar gets poured into it, we're not able to contain it, right, into our hearts. Why? Anyone know why we cannot contain it?
It's already filled with
Yes. Yes. I mean, there's all good reasons, but actually, it's described. Our patras has holes. So no matter what we pour in it, comes straight out, right?
colander.
Yes, colander. It has actually 6 big holes, right? 6 big holes. What are these 6 big holes?
That's great anger and
Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Mad, Matsarya, right? These are the 6 big holes that are in our hearts. So no matter what we pour in, comes straight out. Yes, just like Madan Gopal, colander, sieve. Our hearts, the nectar of Krishna Prem, it somehow just drains out. And what do we retain? The big rocks of material sense desires and sense gratification and envy and so forth. That all stays stuck in our hearts. So this is the condition of our hearts. And we cannot contain this subtle form of Krishna Prem. So, firstly, we have to plug these holes, right? How do we plug these holes? With the mercy, power of the holy name, and the power of the devotees, association, and so forth. Try to plug these holes. But even if we plug these holes, this is not sufficient. Just like that lioness's milk, right? Our heart cannot contain that milk. We need to line it. We need to line that heart with material that can really hold and manage this potent Krishna Prem. What is the lining? What is the lining that we need to put in our hearts? There are 4 linings. We need 4 linings. Right? 4 linings. Tunada Pishuni Jaina, Taroriva Sahishuna, Amanina Manadaina, and Kirtaniya Sadahari. Right? So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says first, Trinada Pishuni Jaina. So what is this trin? Trin means straw, right? Straw is downtrodden grass, not even regular grass that you walk on it and comes back. Straw is really the lowest. And you walk on it, jump on it, play on it, it never complains, right? So we need to be, Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't say like that straw. He says lower than that straw. Lower than that straw. How can we even contemplate, right? How to be so lower than that straw, right? We need to consider ourselves so insignificant, so fallen in that sense. Second, the tree, right? It says Taror Iva Sahishuna. Right? A tree stands in the cold, in the heat, bears everything, right? Even though the tree takes the heat, the tree offers the shade to the person who comes under it. The tree produces so many fruits, it doesn't keep any fruits for itself. Fruits it offers freely to everyone. The tree allows birds to build their nests in it. How many of us would be willing to say, hey, Mr. Bird, come and build a nest on my shoulder here? Right? Never mind our shoulder, take a room in our house. No, right? We're much more protective, right? So, right, the trees are the emblems of tolerance. They tolerate anything. They bear the ice cold. They bear the ice cold, and yet if you cut them and light them, they give out the heat. Right? This is the nature of the tree. Right? So we need to be more tolerant than the tree. The third lining, amanina. Right? Amanina means we cannot expect respect from anyone. We should not desire, even subtly, indirectly expect to be respected, want to be respected. Amanina, right? Who are we to deserve any respect? What great things have we done? When we consider those great devotees, acharyas, everywhere around us, we are totally insignificant. So, who are we to think that, we are this great and therefore people should respect us? So, amanina. So this is okay. We may be able to convince ourselves that yes, we don't ask for respect. But even harder than amanina is manadena. Manadena, right? No matter who, where, what condition, what they've done to us, how they've done to us, what we think of them, still we offer them respect. Still we offer them respect, whatever way we can, right? So these are the linings Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying you first need to put in your heart in order to contain this most potent Krishna prema, right? Most potent Krishna prema. We're really running out of time. So very quickly, I'll recite again another little pastime to illustrate Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's and Nityananda Prabhu's identity. This is from Chaitanya Bhagavat, written by Vrindavan Das Thakur. In that pastime, there's a very nice incident where one day Sachimata is there, mother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and she's saying, yesterday I had this amazing dream, and I can't understand what that dream was all about. And she said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, really? What dream? Please tell me what dream? And she said, in that dream, in our temple room, where we have these beautiful deities of Krishna and Balaram, I saw you and your friend, Nitai. I saw you and your friend Nitai, and you were sitting there, and the bhoga plate was there for Krishna Balaram. And I saw that you were trying to eat from it, and then Krishna and Balaram were screaming at you. They were saying, what is this? This is our bhoga, our food. What are you two doing, eating our food? And then I saw all four of you sitting around the plate and grabbing things from the plate and stealing things from each other's hands and pushing each other and so forth, right, in this plate. And Krishna Balaram was saying, what's going on here? This is our room, our house, our offering, our plate. And what are you two doing, taking this offering of ours? And Nitai, he got so angry, right? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they picked up the murtis of Krishna and Balaram. Nityananda, he took the murti of Krishna, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took the murti of Balaram, and they were walking them outside. That's it. You guys, you don't belong here. We're throwing you out, right? We're throwing you out. So they were taking them out. And Balaram was screaming and saying, what are you doing? We are the supreme lords. You can't throw us out like this. And Balaram said, your days are over. Your days are over. In this Kali Yuga, there's no need for two cowherd boys. Two cowherd boys cannot do anything. We need two strong Brahmins to press. Shishi, Gaurita ki jai. Okay. We'll try a few more minutes. Please bear with us. We'll try to wrap up in a few more minutes. So anyway, this fighting went on. Vrindavan Das Thakur is describes it very, very eloquently and very, very nicely. And eventually, Krishna says to Nitai, you can't do this. You know how powerful I am. This is, what are you doing? And Nityananda says that I don't care how powerful you are. Who are you anyway? My Lord is Vishvambar. He is my protector. As long as he is there, I don't need to be scared of you, Krishna. Right? This was the mood of Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Mother Sachi said she woke up. She woke up, and then Mother Sachi said, I also heard Nityananda, he was shouting, Mother Sachi, give me more food, give me more food. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, oh, that's so wonderful. You should invite Nityananda immediately for prasad. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to bring Nityananda Prabhu. Mother Sachi went to prepare all the nice preparations. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Nityananda, look, you're being invited for nice prasad, but you have to behave, right? You have to behave. None of this avadut behavior, do whatever you want, wherever you want, that kind of thing. My elderly mother is there, my young wife is there. You be, etiquette is required. And Nityananda Prabhu said, Vishnu, 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 what are you telling me to do? If I'm behaving like a madman, it's not my fault, it's your fault. You have made everybody mad by giving them this bliss of the Harinam, the holy name. It's your fault. Don't blame me, right? When this joking where they went, and they sat down. Mother Sachi sat them down nicely, and she was bringing all the preparations for feeding them nicely. And then she went in the kitchen to bring some more preparation. And then when she came back, then she had she froze. She had all these preparations in her hand. She froze. She froze, just staring, staring, staring. And then she fainted, and everything dropped. And what did she see? So Vishwambara Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately ran and sprinkled water on her. Wake up, wake up, wake up, Mother Sachi, wake up. And then Sachi Mata said, now I understand what the dream was about. Now I understand. Now I know that you are, what she actually saw was Krishna and Balaram, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu were seated. She saw Krishna in his sham complexion with the Kastuba jewel, and she saw Lakshmi on his chest, and Nityananda or Balaram with a plow. And then immediately she understood this is Krishna and Balaram. Okay, so Narottam Das Thakur says in this regard, he says, Brajendra Nandana Jay Sachi Shuta Hoilo Se Balaram Hoilo Nitai. Right? So Brajendra Nanda is the son of King of Braja, that is Krishna. Krishna is known as son of Nanda Maharaj. And Nitai is Balaram. Right? So there's some more pastimes, but we'll skip. But in this regard, we'll give it a quick summary of it. It's from the Mahabharata. The Mahabharata. There, one time Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was also after the battle of Kurukshetra, he was saying that he was very good at solving people's problems. So he would be spending all day, and the citizens could come and he would solve their problems. So this one day, Yudhishthira Maharaj said, I have some puja to complete. So he asked the other Pandavas, you stay in my place. Anyone that comes, you solve their problems. So the first person came. I have a big problem, big problem. And Yudhishthira Maharaj is not there. Arjun is there. Arjun says, what's your problem? And this man says that, I'm a farmer in your kingdom, and something very strange is happening. I have a crop, and the wall or the fence that's surrounding that crop is eating that crop. And Arjun said, really? How is that possible? The wall is eating the crop? If it was someone else, I would take my Gandiva and finish him, but what am I going to do with the wall? So I can't solve your problem. Stand aside. You have to wait till Yudhishthira Maharaj comes back. There's a second one. The second one was the man said, I take a bucket of water from the well, I pour it into 8 pots. And then what happens is when I pour the 8 pots back into the bucket, I only get quarter of the bucket. I don't understand. How is this possible, right? So Bhima said, really? This is over my head. I can't help you, Bhima said. So stand aside in the queue, parking lot, wait for Yudhishthira. The third person, very interesting. The third person came and he said, I saw an amazing scene. I can't understand it. I saw this man, he had a needle, and he was pushing the elephant through this eye of this needle. He was pushing an elephant through this eye of this needle. And Nakul said, really? Really? What happened next? He says, the elephant went through. The elephant went through, but the tail got stuck. The tail couldn't go through. The elephant went through, the tail got stuck. And Nakul said, oh my goodness, above my pay grade, I can't help you, so stand aside, wait for Yudhishthira Maharaj. And the fourth person came. Oh, big problem. What's the problem? This is Sahadev's turn. Sahadev said, the man said, on the path going to the river, we were going every day, and all of a sudden this big boulder is there. We've tried pushing it and moving it and removing it, and everything. We can't move it. We can't get to the river. We've tried everything. And what do we do? Sahadev says, I don't know. Stand aside, wait for Yudhishthir. Right? So Pandavas failed. All four of them failed. Couldn't solve one of the problems. Yudhishthir comes back from his puja, and the Pandavas are eager. How is Yudhishthir Maharaj going to solve these problems? Right? So the first problem, what was the first problem? Anyone remember? Yes, right? The wall eating the crop, right? So Yudhishthir said, this is the first characteristics of Kali Yuga, right? That those who are put in the position of protection, they will actually become the devourers, right? The Rakshaks will become the Bhakshaks, right? The Rakshaks will become the Bhakshaks. This is the first characteristic of Kali Yuga, and we see this is what politicians and everyone, this is them easy, right? Yudhishthira said easy. Now, next problem. The man said, yes, this bucket of water and 8 pots and quarter. So, yes, Yudhishthira said, this is the second symptom of Kali Yuga, right? He said that in previous ages, one father was able to look after 8 sons, right? But in Kali Yuga, 8 sons cannot look after one father, right? Unlimited children, they cannot look after. This is the second symptom. The third symptom, right? The third symptom of Kali Yuga, right? Remember the elephant going through the needle, right? The third symptom of Kali Yuga, right? Yeah. This is relevant. This is very relevant. Listen to this one carefully, okay? The third symptom of Kali Yuga is that he said, in Kali Yuga, everyone will spend crazily for their own material sense gratification, like an elephant. Elephant amounts of money will be spent on their own sense gratification, on their own house, on their own material desires and family and so forth. But when this saintly person comes and asks them to donate for a spiritual cause, they will show their tail. They will show their tail, and even that tail won't. They will think twice, right? So this is the third symptom of Kali Yuga, and we can all experience it. We've all experienced it in the last few years so many times. So many people have so much capability, but when we ask sincerely, please donate. This is for a spiritual cause. It's ultimately for your benefit. People hold back. They're resistant, right? The fourth problem, just to finish off, the big boulder and the sannyasi. So the big boulder and the sannyasi, yes, I didn't finish it. Right? The big boulder came. The man said, what happened is, that what was amazing is that a sannyasi came. He took one thread from his chadar, he tied the thread around, and then just without any effort, he moved this whole boulder out of the way. How was the sannyasi able to do that, right? So yes, so Yudhishthira Maharaj said that yes, the fourth characteristic of Kali Yuga is there's so much degradation and sin in this Kali Yuga, it will block all paths for spiritual advancement. This boulder is the form of material attachments, kama, krodha, lobha, etc. It will be impossible for us to overcome. People will become totally overwhelmed. But in Kali Yuga, one sannyasi will come. And with just one strand of his mercy, he will remove this big boulder of anarthas, sin, karma, and open up our path back to the spiritual world. And we know who that sannyasi is? Yes, right? This sannyasi, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Just with one strand of his mercy, he single-handedly removed that boulder. And what is that strand of mercy? What does the strand represent? Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam, Kalo nasteva, gatiranyatha. Therefore, Prabhupada has said, this is the best way to worship Chaitanya Nitai, Chaitanya, Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. We don't need to dress them so opulently, offer them chappan bhog, offer them nice jewelry. All it's nice to do that, but the real way to worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is simply Hare Nam Eva Kevalam. Just chant and dance incessantly in front of them, and just coming before them, chanting, they will be pleased. And what will we chant? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we announced the Siksha program. If any of you are not chanting, or if any of you are chanting 2 rounds or 4 rounds, we seriously ask you to take up that process, right? And become recipients of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. His opportunity is tomorrow, right? Please take advantage of it. And also, please think very, very deeply about the elephant and the needle, right? Let us not be like the elephants, especially in this critical time, right? Let us be generous. Ultimately, this will revive our dormant Krishna consciousness. It will invoke the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who will give us this such a rare gift of Krishna Prema. That Krishna Prema, there's nothing more valuable. This is the Shiromani, this is the crown jewel of all valuable assets. Please try. As you see, the 3 of us, we are going, out of our comfort zone almost to donate and try to make this temple keep it going. But the 3 of us cannot do it alone, right? We need all of you. We need all of your help. All of everybody. It's ultimately all of our temple. We're all going to benefit. Not only we will benefit, so many other people will benefit. So please, very, very seriously consider tomorrow is a very auspicious day. Try to make your pledge tomorrow on Gaur Punim Day itself. Whatever you can do, right? Let us try to get to our target of $500,000 in March alone, so that we can continue this beautiful project, this magnificent project, after which Srila Prabhupada, he will be pleased with us. That's my humble request. So thank you all so much. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna.